So what we're going to talk about today is going to be a very simple skill that I bet that you have neglected way more than you probably should. I genuinely believe that this one skill will improve every one of your heroes. It'll make you better on every hero if you were to apply this, right? And it's something I'm just going to call proximity or play in at your effective range, right? So essentially just argue close enough to your target. Essentially, that's it. So what I'm going to explain is the skill itself, why I believe it is in my top 3 most important skills, and I will provide some examples across some different heroes, right? I'll try to do very different heroes. Let's just jump right into this. So I'll keep this part short, but what is effective range? Essentially, every hero has a different effective range, of course. I mean, some have similar, but heroes have different effective range. It is within their fall-off range, typically just before they fall off. For instance, Ashe is effective, right, at 30 meters. I mean, in fact, she's effective all the way back here to 40. That's not untrue. I wouldn't say that's untrue. She's effective all the way there, but I would say 30 is probably her best spot right here, and 40 is the furthest. But even though 40 is sure her effective range, it's her furthest away she can be while being able to output a high amount of damage. I wouldn't call it the effective. You would almost say 5 meters before it. So around this 30 point, there's like 28, 32, 33. This sort of point is where you're going to want to be on Ashe most of the time. Now again, she can be closer and do the exact same amount of damage, but why would you want to take the risk of playing closer when you could play further back? Even a simple character like Reinhardt cannot swing 4 meters, more than 4 meters in front of him. So you wouldn't want to play this far from your opponent. You'd want to play him, try to take a close war where you can get a swing onto someone. Even a character like that who isn't an aim character and is a melee character needs to know their effective range. I'm not saying study the stats, just get a feel for it in a game. And then you even get characters that don't have fall off, like Wu Yang, who have an effective range. Same with Kiriko. And in theory, you could play Wu Yang all the way back here, and this is the furthest away. No one can touch you. You're an unkillable character. Even if the map allowed you to play this far, it isn't his effective range. And if you've ever played Wu Yang for some time, you'll learn why. You'll realize, hey, if I play here, it's really difficult to aim my shots. And you get a little closer. So then you kind of come around here and you go, ooh, it's still a bit far. Here, okay, it's really easy to control. I understand the trajectory and I can consistently land shots. So even characters at 0 fall off have an effective range. Again, another perfect example is Pharah. Pharah doesn't have any fall off. She can just shoot at this range, but your shot's not going to hit. So what you're going to do is you're going to play a little closer like this so you can guarantee the hit or splash damage. That is effective range. And that is that is it. You don't want to be too close. You want to be far enough that you don't have damage fall off, but you don't want to be so close that your life is at threat. We're going to move on to why it is so important. Range dictates our angle, right? Alpha angling is great, very useful. Everyone has to do it. Even tanks have to do it, right? But it's even better and more efficient and effective if we play it at our individual hero's effective range. There is no point in the angle if we are still at a disadvantage because we are too far. So okay, say we're going to be in the training range. Say the training range is our map, and the character we're trying to shoot at is one of these bots. Right, this is a good off angle. But is it a good for Tracer? No. It would be good for Ashe. Might even be a little bit good for Cass. Would be pretty good for Widow. So a lot of other characters. But is it good for Tracer? No. Now, is this off angle better for Tracer? Yeah, because it's close. She no longer has any fall off. Even like this. It's a smaller off angle, but again, it's her effective range. And that's why we need to understand this, so that we can improve our off angles, right? So we can improve the angles in which we take. Playing to your strength is always a win. And that's why it's important. Why wouldn't you want to do more damage? You don't want to give up some of that damage that you have. Why would you want to play too close on a character that barely has any fall off on a hit scan weapon? Now, obviously, we know Widow does have fall off, but why would you not want to play this angle if you can? That's kind of where it's important to come. It sounds so simple and it sounds so stupid. A lot of you are probably rolling your eyes right now and going, oh yeah, no, of course. But I am telling you, go watch some of your VODs, unless you are, I would say Masters plus even some Diamond players obviously will be doing this. I bet you are not playing to your character's strength nearly as much as you should be. In a duel or 1v1, whatever you want to call it, if you are playing against like a close range character and you're a long range character, you kind of like wanting to force that fight to be in a spot where it is advantageous to you. I don't want to fight the Tracer close up, so I'm going to take a long range angle. Do you hate being close to Tracer? Are you constantly being dove by Tracer on Ashe? maybe you're playing in her angles. Maybe you need to figure out a way to play a little further away so that she has to use resources to close the gap on you. And then you are at an advantage throughout that fight. That is also where it can really apply. Different matchups. You've got to understand where your effective range is, and then the matchup matters a lot less because, well, you're still playing to your strength. You're not playing to their strength. So if we use the Ashe versus Widow argument, Widow is a very good character into Ashe because Ashe can't one-tap Widow, Widow can one-tap Ashe, Ashe is quite easy to hit. If we are playing a 30 to 40 meter range on Ashe, then the advantage Widow has is a lot less. Whereas if you're playing that 50 meter plus range, Widow then has the advantage. So trying to figure out what angle to take is very important because of our range. Simply, you want to do the most damage possible whilst being as safe as possible. I've said that before, but it's the whole point of this. Here is a Brig example, right? Brig is a, super close range character. Whipshot obviously has high range, but you don't necessarily play around just the fact that you can whip people, because you can whip people at any range. Like up to your maximum range, obviously. So this is a fairly close game. We ended up losing it. There's a lot of mistakes on my part, a lot that I will highlight, but they are probably like they will not always be due to the me not playing at effective range, and because hopefully I'm demonstrating that here because I have practiced that a fair bit. So Rust is an awkward map, not a bad map. There are just some points and some places where your team is going to fight where Brig is going to find it really difficult to find a comfortable close angle, right? And so you're going to have to sacrifice quite a lot to either get that angle or not get that angle, and you're going to have to play in a different way. And so we're going to understand that here. She is very different to other heroes, so she's not necessarily the perfect example, but I want to show an example of a character that the effective range is very important. Okay, well, we're rejoining the fight now. We hit a whip as we rotate, and we're controlling a bit of a space. Now, this is what I meant with the limitations of the map. This is close, but it's a little out of Brig's distance, so you have to play the wall a little softer, or come here or hug close here. You can't just sit here. It's not going to work. A lot of characters will be able to punish you for that. So I'm almost compromising a little bit by playing group with my team on this because this is close, but I am paying attention to this. So if this Sojourn wants to make this rotation, this would be easy for her. But if I don't give that to her, she has to walk up, and then it's easy for me. So that's understanding your effective range. You want someone to play at your range. So don't give up the space just because it's not necessarily close. You just want to hug it a little more. So that's almost fine. Let's see where I go from here. This isn't great. Oh, we're rotating point. We're rotating point. See, I probably want to go in the small room, which I do, and I missed the easiest whip shot of my entire life. And then I force this guy out because can this guy kill me on the space? Yeah, obviously the hog kills him. But could the Sojourn kill me there? Not really, no. That's almost impossible for a Sojourn, but that is perfect for Brig. So we made that rotate, and we don't immediately jump onto the open like a lot of people might, because that's not close. You want to play your range here, right? Close the gap onto these people. Remember that I have a small room that I can play in. No one else can play in this room, apart from May, really. And then, yeah, I play this room, and I think we do just lose this fight, but I still am playing my range, and I think that's crucial. We can okay, at this point we can see that this is just too open. This is pretty good if someone's playing here. That's very easy to win this sort of fight. It's great cover. Your team is to your right. It's a pretty good spot, but you're going to see we're going to run into this. We'd run into the same problem that we are about to run into by taking this angle, which is close if played here. But as soon as you play here, it's no longer going to be close. And so understand that range is very important. That is not me. So I miss an easy whip again and then hit this, and my hog is dead. And this is a perfect example of me almost being stubborn on this angle. Can you see how awkward this feels? I can't hit anyone. Yeah, I can whip them. I can't actually do anything. I'm not a threat. They don't care about me. They're not looking at me. Even if I hit a whip, they don't look at me because what the fuck's the Brig doing over there? She's not going to do anything. She's useless, right? Even coming back to this room here is going to be better than there, because if someone was to push my venture, at least now I'm there to support that instead of being over there. So a character like Brig and a lot of characters are going to have to make sacrifices on an angle just because of their range. It just is going to happen. I get stunned and slept and died. Again, that's because I get really greedy on this angle. I'm like, I'm not close. So I force myself to be close instead of picking the closer angle, which would probably been to be supporting my cast here. I mean, look at this on his health bar. That's a whip shot. Whip shot kills that person. So I really should have made the rotation over here. So we immediately play to this room. We don't play anywhere else. We play this small room because guess what? Why? It's our effective range. This is where Brig is strongest. This is a good spot, but if I was Cass or something, I'd be like, that's stupid. You could come here as Cass because you could shoot whatever walks here. You could even peek out here for a second. I still wouldn't recommend that because it's peeking to 5 people. But this room is where Brig plays. Brig can't play here. This is too far. Even though it's not that far, it's too far. You again want to let the enemies almost make a mistake. It's not a mistake to push this room, but Brig is just really difficult to get out of this room. That being said, I think they do win in this fight. I think there's an early pick, a bit of a misbash from me. Good. Venture unfortunately dies there. But can you see how much I'm willing to control this room? And even when I rotate back, I bashed here because this is a tight space. You couldn't fight me in here. You couldn't. Especially because I got rally. I didn't bash in more. I didn't bash out here. I didn't bash even here would expose me to a long range angle that I can't control. I took the bash rotation to another close range spot. Obviously I then go back in and I think I get slept and died. It's not great. But I mean look how much attention I'm pulling from this. It's just a shame our Venture and Sojourn our Venture got picked off and so did our Wu Young. It's unfortunate. Didn't play it perfectly, whatever. We are playing on a close angle, and that's all that matters. Okay, game starts. Already, we can see that by default, I am trying to play around this medium area, short to close, like it's short to medium area. I'm not playing on high ground. I'm not playing all the way on the right, where it's a long sight line that would benefit a different character. Like I've got a Reaper on my team. Where is my Reaper? Not that I'm trying to like. He's up here. I mean, that's fair enough. That's fair enough, you know. Okay. Just doing some scouting. I'm not trying to Sombra coach. I'm trying to like just look at effective range. We know there's a tracer here, and I think I was like predicting the. I'm on a piece of cover, and I'm taking a pretty short to medium range. This is kind of where Sombra likes to play. Focusing on the lamp. Let's get away. It's not perfect, but I would argue. I pretty honestly could have fought this guy from a further distance, but it is Tracer in the end of the day. And we both kind of are going to play the same way anyway. But you see, I'm always trying to maintain that distance from Kiriko. I'm not closing into her. I'm not getting too close to the Sigma. I'm always trying to keep this range. Here is technically too far, but it's just tickle damage. So again, we try to rotate up top here. This is a nice distance to keep from an Echo. I wrap around a cover. Again, playing at that nice, safe distance. Nothing too close, nothing too far. Sombra's quite easy to do it with, especially because you have the time to set it up. If you have the time to set it up, do. That's a crazy virus to miss. That's a crazy virus to miss. It's kind of the same with that one, but I guess it's a you can't really link predict. Alright, so we lose this fight. There's a lot of Sombra stuff here I'm doing wrong. Not perfect Sombra gameplay, but this is... Oh, that guy's won. Alright, let's see what angle I take. Take an angle. I would argue this is too close in this room, but I think it's fine. As long as it's not... Yeah, the way I'm playing it is fine. I'm sort of using the room as a sense of cover, and then I rotate around to this middle part, and I get lost in the source a little bit, but that's okay. I think we're trying to look for an EMP. Yeah, I definitely see an EMP. Let's see it. But, okay, even though it's not perfect and it's not perfectly clean, we can see how my muscle memory is to take me to this medium space here, right? Like, here's not terrible either, but like, my brain is trying to go there, not like here and fight from it's trying to go to this room. And that's something that the deliberate practice of playing at your range can really enable. Even though I'm not perfect here. By absolutely no means, I am not perfect. By any means, I'm not perfect. That's what I said. I don't like doing this. I think I know why. In my head, I don't have the time on this character anymore to fully wrap to where I was before. But I think I realized playing this height, I'm just going to get spammed out. I can't play over range. You can see how awkward that feels for a character like Sombra. So I take this room, and this is much better. The angles from here are great. Yep, perfect. Shoot the echo. Yep. Just shoot what's available to you. Even though the kicker's next to me. Perfect. Perfectly played. It's a good angle and it's timed well. I mean, that's not something that we need to talk about when we're talking about effective range, but it helps. Okay, let's move on. Where am I going to play? I'm going to do the exact same thing again. Which is fine. If things work, you can do it again. Okay, I don't quite. I think I go for it now, but you can see that the timing of this is worse. Shoot what you can. Yeah, but you can see how I'm playing this distance. I'm not up in their face. I'm not sniping across like this. This distance is great. And I want to talk more about this piece of cover specifically. The Bap and Kiri cannot see me, right? I am isolating myself to my one target. That's not what we're focusing on, but it is something that should be noted. And again, you can just hold this sort of back angle. It's not perfect, of course, but it causes a lot of disruption to happen. Even here, the spacing, right? The Sigma, I don't want to get too close to Sigma, so I am spacing. This is stupid. I hate that caught me. I think that is insane that caught me. And that sucks that we lose because of that. It sucks that we lose the point. I feel like we should have lost that point. Alright, a bit more of an awkward and tricky point. The first point is really easy to accidentally be at your effective range. On a character like Sombra, right? But you can kind of see how the character I'm playing dictates my angle a lot more, like range. This is almost a bit too far. I'm going for a bit of harass just to give my monkey some time, almost. And then I look for, okay, I've got an EMP, so I'm looking for something fat. Not the cleanest, but thank you for making it to the end of the video. This was a bit of a really rough video taken from multiple streams planned over the course of random days. And I don't know how it all turned out together in a finished product. I'm trying to make it work, but I hope you're able to gain something from this. I hope you're able to take this away, go into a game, start practicing effective range and stuff like that. And I hope I was able to give good examples and demonstrate it well. I am not particularly experienced always in discussing VODs and stuff, but I've tried my best here, and I hope you're able to enjoy the rest of your day. Like and subscribe for more of stuff like this, and if you really enjoyed this specific in-depth educational stuff into a concept, I would happily do this with other important concepts. Thanks for watching. Take care.